Hello, Willowbrook family. Today's daily Devo is found in Genesis, chapter 50, verses 15 through 21. In the last several days, we have been reading about the life of Joseph. In spite of many great hardships throughout his life, he stayed on the path that God had for him. But the path was not always easy or obvious. In the past, his brothers were jealous of him, so they threw him in a pit and they planned to kill him. And then they sold him as a slave to Egypt, eventually being sold to Potiphar, where Potiphar's wife falsely accused him. And then he was put into prison, where he waited and he suffered for years. And in all of this, I'm sure there were times that he was discouraged, but God had a plan and a path to follow. By now, in this passage, Joseph had risen to second in command in all of Egypt, where he would save the lives of many people, including his own family and brothers, the very brothers who betrayed him earlier. Their father Jacob had just died, and the brothers, who many years before had set this whole unpleasant series of events in motion for Joseph, were worried now that Joseph would exact his revenge for his past pain and suffering. So the brothers sent a message to Joseph telling them that their father had said to them before dying that Joseph needed to forgive his brothers. Now, in all truth, we really don't know if Jacob said that or not. Many scholars believe that the brothers just made the whole thing up to protect themselves. But after Joseph heard this, he wept. Why did he weep? If the story was untrue, Joseph might have wept because it seems that his brothers thought so little of him that they doubted his character. But who knows? In any event, whether the story was true or false, it shows Joseph's great compassion and forgiveness for his brothers. He loved them, whether they deserved it or not. In verse 19, Joseph reassures them and tells them not to be afraid. And then he says something really profound. Am I in the place of God? In other words, am I not in the place where God has put me? You know, whenever you are facing resistance or hardships in your life, you should ask yourself this question. Am I where God has put me? Am I where He wants me to be? You see, sometimes God will use good and pleasant things to get you to that place. But other times, He will allow hardships to be used as good to accomplish His purpose and plan. God can use evil for good. So, if you find yourself in a place that's uncomfortable, but you know that God has put you there, then don't be afraid, discouraged, or disobedient. God will provide and protect you. And you'll find out, just like Joseph did, that faithfulness and obedience through the good and the bad will eventually lead to peace and forgiveness. Have a great day in the Lord, Willowbrook.